Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. Am I the a-hole for getting an expensive birthday gift for the girlfriend of my roommate? Posted by Money Internal 9716. About 4 months ago, my roommate, 25 male, started dating a woman, Cindy, 25 female. She's been spending a lot of time at our apartment because it's closer to her job. We all get along great, and I, 26 male, don't have a problem with her coming over. Last week, I was doing my laundry in the bathroom. We have a separated laundry basket. I use the left side and my roommate uses the right side. When I grabbed my clothes, I saw that Cindy threw some of her clothes in our laundry basket as well. A shirt, some shorts, and some panties. I noticed her underwear looked really old and washed out. I work at a really nice lingerie store and get employees discount. I often used it to buy my ex loungewear or lingerie, and she likes it. As I knew that Cindy's birthday was coming up, I decided to buy her new underwear as a gift. I checked the size tag on her clothes and bought her the gift the next day. Yesterday was her birthday. Cindy stayed over, and my roommate woke up early to decorate our apartment. When she woke up, we all had breakfast, and my roommate told her that he'd made a reservation at a new restaurant in our city. Cindy was really happy and excited, and I wished her a happy birthday. My roommate told her that she would get her gift later, and she pouted. I thought it was the perfect moment to surprise her with my gift. She was genuinely surprised that I got her something, and told me she didn't expect that. I brought her my gift, and she unwrapped it. She was a bit overwhelmed when she saw that I gifted her expensive underwear, but she thanked me after I explained that I used my employee discount. My roommate gave me an angry look, and both of them left our apartment after finishing their food and getting dressed. He later texted me that I crossed a boundary and that I made Cindy uncomfortable. I saw on his Instagram story that they stayed at a hotel overnight, and when I came home from work today, they were gone again, so I couldn't discuss the incident with them. I get that gifting expensive gifts can be tricky, but it wasn't my intention to upstage my roommate or make Cindy feel like I spent too much money on her. I already told them that I used my employee discount, but maybe it was still too pricey for them. I guess I should have discussed a price range for a gift with her before getting her something. Am I the a-hole? Mate, I don't think this was about how much money you spent. More that you bought your roommate's girlfriend lingerie. What the F? Salty Pathwater makes a good point. These movie moments, when you innocently see their underwear size, just doesn't happen in my life. You know what else doesn't happen in my life? Underwear that's worn out, but the size tag is still crisp and easy to read. IAmTheMainCharacter says, and what woman doesn't love to wear her oldest, most worn out looking underwear to sleep over with a guy she's only been dating for a few months? And then, you absolutely leave your embarrassing underwear there for his roommate, Taylor's oldest time, and leave them there to be washed? Okay, so this guy's either super inappropriate and oblivious, or this is a fake post just messing with us. I've lost weight and now I want to divorce my husband. Our next story comes from the Relationship Advice subreddit, posted by a throwaway account. I'm 28 female and my husband is 29 male. We've been married for 5 years and together for 7 years. We also have a 3-year-old child. After having the baby, I struggled a lot with losing the baby weight and adjusting to being a parent. I also had the baby blues at first, which was tough. I wasn't really focused on my appearance, and instead I was trying to figure out our new routine and way of life. But then, my husband started making these little comments about my body and how I should start working out and wearing makeup again. It made me feel really awful, and I worried that he might start looking elsewhere because we weren't being intimate anymore. He even suggested hiring a nanny so I could have more time for myself, but I wanted to be there for our baby full time, so I turned down the offer. That made him angry, and he started acting cold towards me. Months went by without any hugs, kisses, romance, or any kind of affection. My self-esteem hit rock bottom. Every time I looked in the mirror, all I saw were the flaws that my husband pointed out. By this point, our son was already 2 years old, and I desperately wanted to win my husband back. I thought that if I got into shape again, he would show me love and affection, and our marriage would be saved. I craved his attention so much, and it hurt how much things had changed, but you can't force someone to be affectionate. I took matters into my own hands and hired some help. With more free time, I started going to the gym, taking swimming classes, which are amazing for your back by the way, getting my hair and lashes done regularly, and eating healthier. And guess what? I lost a ton of weight, and I feel amazing. Suddenly, my husband started touching me, kissing me, buying me flowers, and treating me like the complete opposite of how he treated me before. You'd think that'd make me feel better, but for some reason, it made me feel worse. All I could think about were the hurtful things he said to me when I was at my lowest, and how cold he was towards me. I get that you can't force attraction, but why couldn't he just hug me or give me a kiss on the cheek, even when I was overweight? Why couldn't he love me as a human being and the mother of his child? When my self-esteem came back, I got really angry at myself for putting up with his behaviour for so long. A few days ago, I told him that I wanted a divorce because I don't think I can move past how badly he treated me. He apologised and promised to change and prove that he can do better. But honestly, I'm not sure if I can trust him again. What if I gain weight again or have to deal with health issues? Will he treat me like garbage again? I've talked to some friends and family about the whole situation, and some say I should give him another chance, while others say I should leave him. So I'm turning to Reddit for advice. Am I justified being upset over this? Do you think it's possible for my husband to change his behaviour for the long term, or is divorce the right move here? OP brings up a really important point. What if you get ill? Or literally just get older? Apparently his love for you is conditional on your looks. Plus, treating someone like that, who's going through a rough time, especially after birthing your child, says a lot about the kind of person he is. I don't blame you for falling out of love with him. Am I the a-hole for not having my friend in or at my wedding? I was her maid of honour. Posted by Okay Babe. Buckle up. Lots of backstory here. So, I, 24 female, was one of 2 maids of honour in my friend, let's call her Jess, 22 female's wedding. Over the last few years, our relationship has been rocky. A few years back, before I got with my now fiancé, I had a thing with a guy, we'll call him John, in our mutual friend group. It was on again off again for about 6 years, and it always ended the same way. John was talking to other girls, and I was done waiting around. The last time, I put my foot down, and I told him I need to move on. He acted okay with it, until he found out I was dating my now fiancé. Over the course of the last few years, he's created rumours about me, twisted my words, and turned most people in the group against me. There's more to that, but I'll get to the point. Essentially, Jess's now husband is best friends with John, and she was in the middle in some ways, but always seemed to stick by me, support me, and reassure my feelings about it all. Fast forward to this year, 2023. I've been out of that friend group for at least 2 years completely, little to no contact with anyone, but somehow, drama is still occurring, and it still involves me. Being that Jess is my friend, and really my only connection with the group, I went to her to ask where all this drama was coming from. She and her now husband told me the only reason John would do these things would be if he was still upset that you've moved on with someone else. I later found out that someone was telling the group that I was telling people those things. I just said okay and we moved on. Another factor in all of this is that John now has a fiancé, whom Jess absolutely hated. In any gatherings with that group, we've always kept things cordial, saying hello, how are you, and usually just moved on to chat with other people. One day, Jess went to dinner with John's fiancé to make up and clear the air, as there was some tension between them, and ever since then, Jess has been acting strange. Going into this dinner, she said she was dreading it, and that she was going to tell me all about it, but I didn't hear from her for almost 2 weeks after their dinner. We normally talk at least once a week on the phone. So I reached out to her to see if everything went okay, to which she replied, we decided to keep what we discussed between us to avoid more drama, and we aren't friends, but we'll be friendly going forward. I thought this was weird, but I just told myself they were being mature about it and moving on. In the summer, I attended a baby shower for a family friend that Jess and John's fiance were invited to also. I noticed that they showed up together, and to my surprise, Jess was like glued to John's fiance's side and barely said more than hi to me, her maid of honor and so-called best friend. When I went up to say hi to Jess and John's fiance glanced at me in the corner of her eye, flipped her hair in my face, and turned around to ignore me. This was out of the blue. As I mentioned above, we'd always been cordial and said hello when we saw each other. Later that evening, after the baby shower, I sent a nice text to John's fiance, saying something like, I could have been mistaken, but it seemed like you ignored me tonight, and I know that we'll be seeing a lot of each other going forward with the wedding and mutual events, so I'd love to chat and clear the air, be cordial, etc., so as to not make it awkward. I got a response the following day saying that she'd call me. To wrap up that call in a sentence, she basically told me to F off and that she owes me nothing, and she chooses to believe what she's heard about me from the people that she's put her trust in and doesn't need to waste her time on someone like me. I was truly confused and speechless. After that call, my first call was to Jess to pick her brains about anything that might have come up or been misconstrued in their conversation at dinner that she was being so elusive about. She played dumb and then immediately got defensive, saying things like, "You don't think I said anything to her, do you? And nothing really came up about you." For the next few months leading up to the wedding, she was practically radio silent. I checked in with her to make sure everything was good and that she didn't need anything before the wedding, as I'd stuffed the invitations and put together party favors. She hardly said a word. I sent her money to treat herself the week of the wedding, and she said absolutely nothing. I got engaged in August, and when I FaceTimed her, she seemed emotionless. When I saw her in person, she said absolutely nothing about the engagement. No hug, no congrats, no, let me see the ring. All the things that I did for her when she got engaged, and that my other friends did for me. Not to mention, I planned and paid for all of the bachelorette party, despite the mums attending and there being another maid of honor. Aside from a brief thank you text the morning after the wedding, it's been over a month and I've not heard from her. I'm getting married next year, and I don't think she's even going to be invited to my wedding because I've come to the conclusion that she could be the only person who was stirring the pot in my absence. But I struggle because I'll never truly know. Am I the a-hole? This is so confusing. What the hell's going on here? It was pretty sus how defensive she got when OP called her. Perhaps Jess really is the one stirring the pot, but down in the comments, Sad Satisfaction has another explanation. John is her husband's BFF. Her husband chose to keep the peace with John. At the lunch between Jess and John's fiance, she was told, "We won't be around you and hubby if OP is there." John's fiance, "Poor John is so hurt over her behaviour." Bottom line, she chose to make her husband happy by cutting you out. I reckon John told the whole friend group that they were still dating and that OP cheated on him, and maybe even told his fiance that she keeps flirting with him and trying to hook up again. Otherwise, why would the fiance be so mad and insist that Jess cut her out? John's probably just butthurt over her dumping him and moving on when she was his plan B. Remember, I post new content every day, so subscribe for more juicy tea.